nuts! The decade's almost over! It's insane! But I'm very excited to see what the new decade has in store for us. But let's take a look back at the previous decade, because it's been a pretty successful one, especially when it comes to Nintendo games. Well, actually, it's been a rocky road for Nintendo this whole decade, but let's have a look back at some of the games that I truly enjoyed. Now, Nintendo this decade has said hello and goodbye to a lot of the consoles and handhelds this decade. Said goodbye to the Nintendo DS, hello and goodbye to the 3DS, and the Wii U was a thing for a little while, and of course, we can't forget about the Nintendo Switch. I love the Nintendo Switch so much, there's so many incredible games, but let's talk about all the games that I truly love this decade that have come out for Nintendo, that I just personally love. And I encourage you guys to go down into the comments below and leave your list of games that you really enjoyed from Nintendo this decade that you felt just deserves to get a shout out. So let's go over the list. There's no order for this list, it's just kind of a list of games that I truly loved playing this decade, that truly felt like they were really good games that defined like what video games I guess are for Nintendo. So here's my list of games of the decade, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. First up on this list is one that I think is obvious, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It is an incredible game. If you have not played it, definitely play it. It was on sale, it's not on sale anymore, but you should still get it because it's an incredible game. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was the new entry that was actually one of the first games that have come out on the Nintendo Switch when it was released. And it was a bestseller and is probably one of the best games on the Nintendo Switch by far. It is incredible. The graphics of the game look beautiful. I mean, they spent so much time on the engine. Like, obviously it was going to be a wonderful game, but all the elements of a video game just came together for Breath of the Wild and was just so perfect. I love the story. There's so much you can do, and the aspect of an open world in Legend of Zelda was beautiful, and I love this game. A lot of people like to compare Breath of the Wild with other games that have come out, because there's just so much that Breath of the Wild has to offer, and I love it so much. There's so much content to it, which means you will never get bored of playing the game. The only reason I stopped playing the game for months was because I literally had school and they destroyed me. So I didn't have time for Breath of the Wild, but I loved playing the game so much. It has an incredible story, so many things that make you want to 100% that game, and it's so satisfying when you do. So it's definitely one of those games that I love. Definitely, probably one of the reasons why the Nintendo Switch had the best start possible. An incredible game. Obviously, I didn't get it till I got my Switch, but love the game so much. And if you haven't played it, please play it. Next up on this list, Animal Crossing New Leaf. Animal Crossing New Leaf is an incredible game that I loved playing. Now, personally, I did not really get Animal Crossing just because I heard it was good or anything. I actually got Animal Crossing because I was waiting to get Pokemon X and Y for the 3DS, but I was bored and I wanted a new game, and I saw a few YouTubers playing the game. I'm like, okay, might as well try it out, and little did I know I'd love the game. Basically, you are the mayor of a town, and you get to either, put public projects in certain areas, get to talk to the other residents who live there, and you get to explore. But there's so much that comes out of this game. I love it so much because it's creative, it's unique. Well, I mean, there's other games that are similar to it, but I love it so much because there's that aspect that just keeps grabbing you in. It makes you want to keep playing this game, and it's such a fun game to play. I mean, I love playing Animal Crossing so much that I have over 1,000 hours on that game alone. It is insane, and because of that game, I'm super excited for the new Animal Crossing that is coming out on the Nintendo Switch next year. But Animal Crossing New Leaf for the 3DS was so much fun, especially when you play multiplayer or with a friend nearby, because it's just so much fun to visit their towns and then help them out, and then they'll help you out with projects and making money. It was a fun game in general, and I loved it so much. It's dear to my heart because I spent so many hours on that game, and I don't regret playing that game at all. It is a fun game, enjoyable, and it gets me excited for the Switch version, so I'm excited to see how that one goes. Next up on this list is a game I didn't own, but I played and I loved. It is Nintendo Land for the Wii U. We all know the Wii U was a pretty trash console, but it had some great games. Some of them have already gone to the Nintendo Switch, but it's okay because there's one that didn't come to the Nintendo Switch, and that is Nintendo Land. Nintendo Land is an incredible game that I truly love. Now, obviously, you can play a few single-player games, but it's mainly a party kind of multiplayer game where you get your group together and you play the games. And I loved it so much. It was such a fun aspect. It took the Wii U and it made it unique in a way, because you did use that Wii U gamepad for a few games, which was very smart. It's such a fun game to play with friends. I mean, you have the Mario Chase game, which was actually super enjoyable. I mean, like, it was funny just being like, okay, where's this person that we have to tag? I remember having so much fun, especially on that one. And then also the Luigi's Mansion one, that I just adored so much. And it was such a unique aspect. And I kind of wish they brought something of that aspect over to the Switch. I know it's hard because with the Wii U, you had the gamepad, so then you can keep, you know, that one player secret and their decisions and whatever they're doing. And on the Switch, you can't exactly do that. But I wish they did something similar to what they did to Nintendo Land. Because honestly, Nintendo Land's one of the games that I truly loved playing. And I didn't own a Wii U, but anytime I went to a friend's house, and one of the games that we wanted to play was Nintendo Land. It was so much fun, and I truly enjoyed that game. Next up is Fire Emblem Three Houses. Now, we went through a lot of Fire Emblem games this decade. I mean, we had Awakenings, we had Fates, we had Heroes, we had that one that I always forget. But the one that I truly loved was Three Houses. Three Houses just came out this year. It's for Nintendo Switch. But it's such a wonderful game. It really changed up the Fire Emblem series while also not making it that different. It added a whole different system. I mean, they made it more like Persona, where you interact with the characters a lot more and you're able to explore this area, basically the school. Garrick Mach, you're able to explore, and it was so unique. But they took those aspects of Persona and then combined it with Fire Emblem, and somehow it was a really good combination, and I love it so much. And then they added so many cool features with the Nintendo Switch. Since it's an upgraded graphics, the characters in the overworld actually look pretty good, and the story was incredible. There's so many different routes to the story, which is amazing. They keep updating it, which is incredible. Like, they added so many new modes. Like, the hardest difficulty there is in that game, I think it's maddening or something like that, but it's incredible. And I love it so much. Like, it has so much replay value just because there's so many different endings. There's so many different teams you could try out, so many different combinations with characters, and there's just so much into those games. And I love the Fire Emblem community, like, since Three Houses have come out, because there's so many great things, so many great people in the community, so many wonderful memes that have come out, and then even the voice actors on the English voice actors have been, like, incredible and had that real connection with the fans, and that's incredible. And that's what I love about, like, any kind of game series, when they have that connection with the fans. And truly, Fire Emblem Three Houses was a great game, and it really is an incredible Fire Emblem game that I truly think Nintendo really put the mark. Like, they did an excellent job with the game. They did a terrific job. Fun game, love it so much. Mario Kart 7 for the Nintendo 3DS is another game that I loved this decade, and one of the games that I felt was incredible for the decade. I know we had Mario Kart 8 and 8 Deluxe. I didn't have a Wii U, so I didn't play the original 8. I did get Deluxe, but obviously that's just a Wii U port, you know, kind of enhanced graphics. The graphics weren't very different, but still, I mean, bringing it to the Switch was incredible. But I loved Mario Kart 7. I don't know what it was about it. I mean, they did introduce some really cool things. They obviously added gliders to the handheld version. Like, they didn't have that in the DS version, so having it on the 3DS version was pretty cool. I think it was just the community. So many people played Mario Kart 7, and honestly, like, it was a time when I didn't really have internet. Well, Wi-Fi. And when I connected to Wi-Fi in the rare chance, I had so much fun playing the game. But honestly, the community itself was just so much fun. I loved playing Mario Kart Online. And then when I played it with my friends, it was such an enjoyable game to play. I mean, Mario Kart 7 was just so much fun. There was just something about it that I truly loved. I mean, it was enhanced from the DS version, which I love the DS version. I honestly think the DS is probably one of the best, if not the best. But I love Mario Kart 7 so much. It's just introduced so many things. It enhanced the Mario Kart status itself. And made it more look like a console version of the Mario Kart games than the DS version kind of did. And I really liked that about the games. It was incredible, and I had so much fun, so many great memories of the game, which is why I kind of personally love the game. It has its flaws here and there. I mean, there were those glitches in Maku Woohoo, I think, or something like that, where you basically got a huge head start. It was funny to do. Obviously, they patched it, except on multiplayer, because for some reason they were too lazy to do that. But still, it's an enjoyable game, and I still play it sometimes every now and then because it is pretty fun. Next on the list is not necessarily a Nintendo game, but it's an incredible game, and I'm putting it on the list because it did come out on the Switch. Sonic Mania. Sonic Mania is an incredible game. Hands down, one of my favorite games this whole decade. I mean, it was a classic Sonic game that didn't combine 3D and classic. I loved it so much because it was just a throwback to the classic version. It was, I think, celebrating the anniversary of Sonic itself. And they did it really well. I mean, Sonic Mania is an incredible game. They took the classic aspect of Sonic and just turned it modern in a way without turning the models 3D. And I loved it so much. I mean, the music in the game is so incredible. I especially love like T. Lopez's contribution to the game. It is incredible. The soundtrack is beautiful. But it was a game made by the fans for the fans, and that was incredible itself, that the Sega team was able to just get these people who love the game so much, work on the game, and that's probably why it was perfect, because you're getting the fans themselves actually making the game. And I loved it so much. Sonic Mania was an incredible game. It is like still a bestseller. It is an incredible game, but honestly, I just love the aspect. It took a throwback to the original Sonic, brought it to modern day, and they did it perfectly. It makes me want to have a Sonic Mania 2 because honestly, I love Sonic Mania, the original, so much. I mean, they brought new stages in, but of course, the nostalgia of the older stages, especially with the music. Like, they did a brilliant job. Love the game so much. Please make Sonic Mania 2. Please, Sonic Mania 2. Next up, Pokemon Black 2 and Pokemon White 2. I have to bring a Pokemon game in. I mean, come on. It's Nintendo. I'm gonna bring a Pokemon game. But I'm bringing Black 2, White 2. Many games have come out in the Pokemon series. I mean, we had X and Y, Sun and Moon. This is the game I don't want to talk about that sounds close to Sun and Moon. But, I mean, Black 2, White 2, I think are probably hands down, and I will say this, the best Pokemon games out there. They had everything that a Pokemon game or a game in general probably needs. They had a great story, which I loved so much because it was a sequel to the original Black and White. It had amazing post-game content, which, because there's the Pokemon World Tournament, there's the Black Tower, and there was so many other things. It had so much. Like, Joint Avenue was fun to do. They had basically those events where you get the thing online, but it unlocks a secret thing happening. Like the Meloetta event, where, you know, she dances around and gets removed. Or Keldeo, where you go to the stone and it changes its form. Even though Keldeo's changed form is basically useless, it's still cool to have those things. And honestly, it was the last generation to do these kind of events. And I honestly love Black 2, White 2 just so much. What is caught my... Okay. A cable was caught on my leg. But I love Black 2, White 2 so much. It has everything that we've wanted in a Pokemon game as of recent. And it's wonderful to look back on it. And basically, it was an incredible closeout to the Pokemon series on the Nintendo DS. I mean, they were about to transition to Pokemon X and Y. So I think they did a perfect job in just saying goodbye to the DS era, which was honestly one of the best eras for Pokemon. And I love the game so much. And finally on this list is another game that is kind of expected to be on this list of games of the decade for Nintendo, Smash Bros. But which one? Which one? I mean, we had 3DS, Wii U. Of course it's going to be Ultimate. I'm not going to say Smash Bros. 3DS. Are you crazy? I'm definitely not saying Wii U version was the best. It's Ultimate version. I mean, Smash Bros. Ultimate. Come on. It's in the name. It's the ultimate experience. I mean, I love the game so much. Brings every single character in the series back into one game while also introducing new ones from games that are non-Nintendo. Like, they brought in Joker, they brought in Banjo, they brought in so many, and they're still going to be bringing more in the months, years to come. I mean, this is looking like an incredible Smash Bros. Game, and to be honest, one of my favorite games. I had so much fun playing it, although I didn't play as much as the 3DS version, because the 3DS version I would play literally every single day. It was still a fun game, and I truly enjoy it. I mean, Smash Bros. Ultimate truly is the ultimate experience for a Smash Bros. Game. Sure, you can argue that Melee is a better game, I guess, but since I didn't grow up with Melee, Ultimate is the winner for me. I truly love Ultimate. But for this decade, Smash Bros. Ultimate is the best Smash Bros. That has come out, and one of the best Nintendo games that have come out. And that is basically it for this video. Those were my games that I truly felt were incredible games that have come out by Nintendo or for Nintendo, basically, because Sonic Mania isn't by Nintendo, it's by Sega. But games that have come out on the Nintendo console that I truly loved. And definitely go down to the comments below. Leave your list of what you truly loved from Nintendo or that was on a Nintendo console that you just loved this whole decade. What Nintendo games did you enjoy? Leave them down below. If it's one game, perfectly fine. If it's 200 games, I'll read like 10 of them and give up on the rest. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys liked something kind of like this in a video. Definitely, if you did enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell so you get notified when the next video comes out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have yourselves a good one. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!